You're listening to DSL The Show. This is your host, Lee Babin.
And Murray Johnson. Glad to be back for another season. Lee, what are we talking about today, bud?
We've got 3 interviews with the Beards and Beavers, who we played last week in our epic record-setting performance. We're going to talk about next week's doubleheader at the Hyojin Park.
Yeah.
And we'll get a little bit of statistical talk here, talking about our league-wide run production so far and some of our statistical anomalies.
I'll probably take a nap during that part of the show, but go ahead. Anything else?
All right, and I think that's all we have.
In terms of interviews, who do we got on? Who did we actually get in touch with?
Yep, we have first-time captain Mike Miller, who is going to talk a little bit about his experience so far.
Right, yeah.
And 2 of his teammates at the left side of his infield there, Paul Groba at third base, and Woody Wilkerson at shortstop.
Well, both of those guys are good for a few quotes. This should be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started on talking about what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
And then we'll listen into those guys. So first, you put out the announcement about Hyojin and the doubleheader weekend, and just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a DSL first, making the DSL great again under the direction of Commissioner Dustin Waters. He laid the mandate out. We had to come up as a team, come up with some big ideas to make great things happen. So we decided to create an event that had never been seen before in the DSL. So we're going to do a doubleheader on April the 22nd out in Hyojin, which is kind of a mountain ballpark which was used for the fall tournament last year. It's a great diamond. The field's beautiful. It's in a great location, and we can barbecue, and teams can get together and break bread after their games. So not only are we going to play 2 games each team on that day, but the league's also throwing out some free barbecue. We're going to provide hot dogs and buns for every team, and we're encouraging each team to get together as a group, bring whatever else they want to throw on the barbecue, and create a few side dishes, and let's have the world's biggest potluck. Another DSL first, so DSL doubleheader Saturday and DSL doubleheader potluck. So we'll be throwing some food around, and of course we'll be selling some beer and having just an amazing day, man. So it's 10 a.m. start time, and the last game tees off I think at 8:30. So we're gonna finish the night under the lights, and it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal.
All right, so a bit of day-night baseball there, and each team for that week I think is either playing their doubleheader for the daytime or the late afternoon.
Yeah. We posted the schedule already, but the way we rolled it out was we grouped the teams into groups of 4. So we have a day group and then kind of a late afternoon, early evening group, so that you didn't have 5, 6, 7 hours in between games. So you're going to come up depending on where your team is. You'll play both of your games within a couple of hours of each other. And then you'll be able to sit around and enjoy either beforehand or after you finish playing, and just take in everything that's going on. The other thing I forgot to mention was the doubleheader Saturday is the first crossover. So these are going to be all interdivisional games, which I think is going to be a lot of fun because by this point in time you would have played through your division, and this will be the first time we'll be crossing over. Just to add to the excitement, it's going to be a whole bunch of new faces and new opponents to face off with.
Yep, and then after that week, we get our big break of 2 weekends with no ball. So
yeah, that's right. They have we're going to play 2 games, a doubleheader Saturday, and then the next 2 weekends we're without any baseball in that first week of May, where there's everybody gets a week off.
A lot of people are going to need that recovery time, I think.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, guys, if I feel as rough as I do after one game, I can only imagine how slow I'm going to feel after 2.
All right, so we have that coming up, and in our attempt to make the show all about the conversations we're having, let's talk a little bit about the season so far, which we have what we think right now is a record-setting number of runs being produced. Most of the teams out there are averaging at least 10 runs a game, and we have our team here averaging 20 runs a game so far. So
yeah, I mean the bats have been just incredible. And I would have to say the games have been incredible too. I mean, although the scores have been high across the board, the number of games that have been going down to the wire, I think this year has been almost across the board. There's very few games that have been sort of decided and had no or little tension going in. I mean, I'm thinking of the All Balls and the Mavericks last weekend, 21-22 or something like that. Corey's team dropping to the projectile dysfunction by 3 runs. It was 19-16, I believe. The games are tight. Even though there's a lot of runs going on, it's going both ways. So there's a lot of run production, and then the games have been going on for a while. So what used to be an hour and a half cap now is we're kind of hoping that we finish the games under 2 hours. I know when I'm umping now, I need to take a full water bottle out with me and maybe a chair just so I can catch a little break in between innings 5, 6, and 7. So, but it's been a lot of fun. What's your take?
Yeah, noticing the runs, I was thinking about maybe some of the rule changes, and maybe that can be part of the effect. Now we have, the females aren't being grouped in like they were before. People can't basically have a 10-person infield like we had in some of the past. So that's probably helping that a lot of people's batting averages are up.
Yeah,
a lot more people are getting on base per inning, not just through errors, but through having more of the ability to have space to hit the ball.
Yeah, well, I mean, and again, that we sort of stopped talking about whether it was just the males or the females, just as players. I think by pushing back all of the outfielders to the outfield line, just so everyone understands, they're 25 meters on the other side of first base and third base and second base. That we've created room. So I think there's a lot more singles being happen. People are getting on base, and it's added to the energy of the game. So I like it. I like the additional offense, and I think that as the league goes on, teams will traditionally tighten up defensively, and the scores will start coming down once people figure out where they're playing and how to play their position and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and I think the field conditions last week definitely helped too. Defense was really tough. The outfielders just all day, they were just having problems fielding the ball. I know just watching some of the balls hit, there was just a curve. The ball started in one field and ended up in another. And
yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely a hitter's paradise, but it was the same for everybody. And yet there was still some great performances out there. I mean, I believe on the All Balls, Heather Langford, she played last year on Hebsy's team, with the Field of Drunks. Made a couple of great grabs out in deep center. So yeah, I mean, the wind certainly played a factor, but I also think we're just seeing a lot more offense going on this year, and it's good. It's exciting. What's interesting though, Lee, is a few of the players that you would have expected to be capitalizing on this that aren't. You were taking a look at the stat sheets, and a couple of surprising names popped up. Who did you find?
Right. And this came from Rachel Berry. She had asked that we look at a couple of people who had some slow starts. So looking over the stats, the vast majority of the league right now is batting over 500. But a couple of standouts is Ryan Mondor, who is on the Dirtbags.
Yeah.
He is batting below 500 right now. He's a first-round pick, so the premier player for his team there. And second-rounder, Jenna for the Beards and Beavers. She's with all the statistics for the females out there, she's She's batting. Has just one hit so far in the first 2 games.
Well, I gotta double check that because I find that one hard to believe. But yeah, that surprised me because we just finished playing them on Sunday, and I can't remember her at bats, but I thought she was hitting the ball well, and certainly still playing lockdown defense. So except when she was throwing balls at our players, Lee.
Right.
John's okay though.
John's
okay, Jenna. He's okay. Don't worry about it. But yeah, a little surprising. Ryan, I'm sure will get his stuff going, man. He's Mr. Single, Mr. Double, so and a competitor. I think he started the year with a bit of a back problem. He's in his mid-30s now. So it's all downhill from now. Mondor, just take a picture. Soon it'll be the hairline. But yeah, I'm sure he'll get his machine rolling pretty soon, man.
Yeah, he's usually pretty good at hitting those line drives to the gaps, so I'm sure they'll come also. Well, yeah, that's just a few of the anomalies there, but when you're looking at the stats and you see 80-something players batting at least 500 here, and we have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people right now currently hitting 1,000.
Okay, who are those people?
That's we got Aaron Alsmond.
Let's jinx. Oh no, let's not jinx him. He's on our team.
We got Matt Campbell of the projectile dysfunction. Okay. Richard Garland of the Dirtbags.
Okay.
Bryce Stoddard of the Beards and Beavers.
Okay.
John Steckel of the Mavericks and Quinn Walker of the Dirtbags. 2 Dirtbags on there. Perfect so far.
Well, I'm glad Quinn's having success at the plate because I saw one of the classic Quinn Walker glove throws last week. he missed a ball out in center field and managed to throw his glove out of play so that people that were spectating had to run and get his glove because he was standing there like a 5-year-old who dropped his ice cream in the sand.
Well,
Tough day for old Quinn. Old Quinn.
I did see his bomb of a hit though.
Well, he's all about the personal stats, that kid. Let's see. Going forward, what else do we wanted to talk about?
Yeah, that's pretty much all that we have. We can go ahead to the interviews. So let's do that.
And yeah, let's hear what these chowderheads got to say.
The first interview we have up is my interview with Mike Miller, captain of the Beards and Beavers.
I'm surprised. This league's got so many people in the league that have been in Korea for such a long time that it's even all the other sports leagues I participate in, it's hard to find people who have been here as long as some of the people in the DSL, which is actually really cool because you get to hear stories of how Korea has changed, how Daegu has changed. So that's one of the things I like about this league is you get to meet people who can share their Korea experience with you while you're playing softball and having a beer. And it's a nice way to get some perspective on how you're taking in Korea as a foreigner. Because, you've got other people here where you're talking to them about how crazy cab rides are because this is like your first year in Korea. And they're just like, oh, yeah, I remember when I was still dealing with like the novelty of how crazy cab drivers are. So that's one of the things I really like about this league.
Now I'm sure, like Charlie Hurd's team that year, he was 0-10. He was the one and only winless team.
Is that the Yellow Fever?
Yeah, the Yellow Fever. People would say like, well, of course that wasn't fun, but all those guys on that team seemed like they were having fun. They would get obliterated the night before the games every weekend, but they were having fun. They couldn't perform very well.
You found a way to make it work. If it turns out that the odds aren't in your favor, and that's what's great. There's an opportunity for that still in the league. It's not like you banish the people who aren't winning and you shame them. I mean, we might do a bit more of that nowadays with podcasts and all that, but yeah, it's good. It's nice to feel like, especially when you're in the classroom teaching all week, and then you get the chance to come out. Like May is the best month in Korea, I think, of the whole year, and we get to spend it playing softball. So that's one of the best things about it.
So how do you feel right now about being a captain? Like, do you feel like you made the right decision so far of joining captainhood?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be involved a bit more, and I definitely, I wasn't quite sure if it was something that if they needed the numbers, if they got more people to sign up for it, and they needed someone to take the administrative duties of running the team. So, I'm doing my best. I kind of had, like I said, I'm the greenest of all the rookie captains, so there's a couple of things that I, in hindsight, would do different for next year, but I'm having fun with it, and I think we're gonna see how we do on Sunday, and but yeah, it's good. It's definitely a learning experience as far as trying to remember back to all my days playing ball in high school. How we gotta position everybody, the whole coaching aspect of it. So it's been fun. It's like it's chess and it's athletics, so it's good.
Well, I do have a couple of questions for you. Like I've heard about the draft that
Hmm.
some of the other guys there at some point said like, Mike, let me give you some suggestions. Is that true?
Yeah, they were giving me some pointers, and that was that was one of the things like um, being as new to the DSL as I am, I knew some names and I knew some faces. And sometimes the names and faces I couldn't match the two because I just didn't know the people as well as other people. So
Hmm.
when I was trying to pick people, it got down to like, okay, I know which names are good, and I know which people have good personalities, and I so it's like if I'm trying to draft someone, it's like, okay, well, I'm looking at who's available, in the middle rounds. And it's like, okay, I don't know any of these names as far as skill level goes, but I know some of these names for personality are going to make for a good team. So, some of the reasons I was picking people was, definitely different than the reasons other people were picking people. That's because I had, limited knowledge of, what everyone was able to do and who people were. So that's one of the downsides to being, unfortunately, as new to the league as I was. Is all the other captains got another year or two as far as knowing people and knowing who plays where and how well they play there and which personality types work well together. So
All right. So outside of Groba, are you happy with your draft strategy?
no, Grover's been great actually. He's good at giving me some some insight and some perspective on especially on how other teams are going to play other players on other teams, what to look out for. Um, everyone that I picked on the team has performed in a way that confirms that the reason I picked them was the right reason. Now, I mean, people are going to obviously be able to argue, oh, I should have picked people in different rounds, or there might have been other people available that I should have picked over the ones I did pick. But, I can look at every person on my list and everyone who's on my team now, and there was a reason why I picked them. And, 2 games into the season, I feel confident that each person that I picked for the right reasons. Obviously there's other things that can factor into that, but I'm happy with the people we got. I think we got a good team. I think we've put together some really good stretches and some really good balls defensively and offensively. We've had a couple of, unfortunate innings and some things didn't go our way, but it's only 2 games into the season, and I think we have yet to really see how we can pull everything together.
Next up, we can see me slipping more into an intoxicated state as Murray and I talk to Beards and Beavers third baseman Paul Groba.
Hello.
Groba, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? This is Lee and Murray here.
What's going on, Murray?
What's going on there, bud? How you do?
All
How you
right. How you
do?
guys doing?
So baseball, man. We had a big game last Sunday. How did you feel about it?
Mm.
And I want to preface that.
Disappointed there at the end.
Yeah, well, I want to preface that by saying I was impressed with your infield, and I was impressed with your bats.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good squad as far as hitting goes, and we're producing the runs. I mean, run production's not a problem.
No.
We just I kind of feel like we got a leaky boat, and we don't have enough corks to fill all the holes.
Okay.
There's some spots, that are out there that you just can't, we move people around, and, we can move people here, we can move people there, but we're still leaving gaps places. So I think we're kind of it's kind of a effort and futility, in a way. Sometimes I think maybe it might be a good idea to put Jenna in the outfield, but then again, that leaves a hole at first, and Winnie and I wouldn't feel confident throwing to anybody else, So we're looking at some different options, but I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can tell you from standing at home plate, it was just. I told the team, early on, we got to wait, because the hits will come. And then I just said, you just get the ball out of the infield.
Yeah.
That was it. I was just like, you got Ruben on one side, you got Mike on the other, and everyone else, you got question marks. So I'm like, hit the ball at the question marks. Then,
well, I'll tell you what, those 2 hits you guys had to right field were really timely. And I can't remember if those were, I think those were both in the 7th inning. You guys had a couple over the right fielder's head there that kind of, he had to run for it a bit. I think he ran up on him, and I think that's just a little bit out of, inexperience, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think that
acoustics.
I was the one that was hitting those balls, and I think the outfielder's name is Mitch. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, I don't know him too well. He's a rookie, I think.
Yeah, but he's athletic. He just made a kind of a rookie mistake. He came into he was in too short, basically.
Well, I'll tell you, with that win that we had, I think anybody could do that.
No,
that wind's pretty powerful. It's blowing out to right.
Well, and both of those balls that I hit they were up in the air, so they just ended up carrying further than they probably would have normally. So
right.
But yeah.
Well, also that kind of situation happened all day, like all 4 games. It was the same situation.
Right.
There were a lot of times where the right fielders came running in at what they thought was something coming at them that went over their heads.
Well, those balls were both line drives. They weren't really pop flies. They were both coming right at them pretty hard, too. So it's a tough one to play, man. It's just really disappointing that it happened when you guys had 2 or 3 guys on base and scored a lot of runs.
Yeah, but I was impressed with how you guys came back in the bottom of the 7th, because I thought we had surgically removed your soul in the top of the 7th, and I just expected you guys to.
Not quite. And that's one thing Ruben was saying. He said, after the game, he said, "I'll tell you what, this team has a lot of fight, and we didn't give up." And I'm kind of worried. Ruben's a good ball player, and I don't want him to lose interest in us. And he said after the game, he's like, "Man, I'm really impressed by the way we fought it out." And I was like, I was too, man. We didn't, I think we showed a lot of character.
No, you did. I mean, you guys put up, I think, 7 runs in the bottom. I mean, had it been any other game, that would have been more than enough to win.
I think so.
Now, speaking of Ruben, I played first base this against you guys, and he hit a couple of lasers by me at first. I got to tell you, at least this year, nobody gets the ball coming off the bat faster than that guy.
I didn't know this, but apparently he was a major league ball player.
Well, he's got a major league bat, because I don't know.
I tell you what.
He came up and hit the ball, and it wasn't more than 2 or 3 feet, like a step or something to my right, and it was all that I could do to fan at it with my glove.
Right.
And then I talked to Nash after the game, and he said you were playing him way too shallow, because I was playing 4 or 5 steps on the other side of the baseline, and Eric said when he played him he would be 15 or 20 steps back.
Well, you do need to kind of get to that bag kind of quick, though. So.
No, I know, but it was. I guess Eric's point was give Ruben the single.
Right.
Don't let him hit the ball into the outfield if you can. So even if you.
Once he hits the ball, and if you're playing him back a little bit, and you do happen to get a glove on it, it's a race between you and him to first.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Right.
And again, it's like when he came up, if the base paths were empty, I was more than happy to watch him hit one over the fence, because if Ruben can come to the plate and only get a run, I'm like, that's a victory in my books. So I'm like,
right.
But I was really impressed with how you, Mike in particular, hit a couple bombs. He hit one of the longest balls of the day, I think, against us. That was on the island or over the island. It was just a monster shot.
He's definitely got a bat. He gets a lot of force behind the ball for sure. And Toby's doing well too, man. You can't you can't hardly leave a discussion about hitting without mentioning him, what he's been doing, especially for a rookie.
No, I mean, I've umped. I've had the fortune of umping at least 2 of your games, I think, or one of your games. And that was in the first day there where he hit that just colossal shot to left field that they were still trying to find by the time he was at home and having a
I'll
sandwich.
tell you what, we did some batting practice, and I think you guys had already cleared the field. It was a batting practice before this last Sunday, and you guys had already come back and gotten ready to play, and Toby was the last batter up. And I was playing, I moved back out to left field, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get me a pop fly, whatever. And sure enough, man, he hit one so far over my head, I went back for a sprint and just took off after it. And that thing landed about 10 feet past where I was. And I was just like shocked. I mean, he just bombed the hell out of it. But that guy's got some muscles, dude.
No, he does. If you can get him orientated, he, in my opinion, he could be the sleeper rookie pick of the year. Sunday, you got a big game. You're taking on the Amish folk singer, Kyle DeVore. You know, I'm
teaching my kids about the Amish in Pennsylvania, as a matter of fact.
That's it. He's gonna come.
Amish folk singer.
He's the Amish folk singer. He's gonna be coming to the field in a buggy and a cart.
He's got a healthy beard for sure.
He does. Now we played them already. Like every team in our league, they're gonna have a few holes out there. So if you guys can get your,
didn't you?
No, we beat them in the first game. But if you can get your bats going,
what'd they do last game?
Last game they beat Corey's team. I forget the score. I think it was like 19-16. It was another one of those games where it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So
it was pretty. Yeah, I guess that was when we were warming up. I didn't get to see too much of that.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were doing the same thing. So they were. They can hit like everybody, but they've got a lot of holes defensively too, right? So, I think you guys can be in there if you just kind of settle it down a little bit in the outfield. That's all. Helps.
I know they got Charisse. She's talking some shit on the DSL page.
She is. And to know Charisse, who was on my team last year, it was so funny to see her step up and do a little friendly smack tack or something. Awesome. Now, the funny thing about Charisse, she's leading the league in singles.
Oh no. You know what? I tell you what, I was telling some folks, a lot of these girls are hitting these little, I don't know, how is she getting on base?
No, Charisse is
a legitimate hitter.
She's legit. She's batting almost 1,000.
She's hit some balls beyond me in the past, down the third base line kind of thing.
No, she hits them.
She hits hard.
Yeah, both to left and to right, because she's got one of the funniest happy feet batting stances you'll ever see in your life. She kind of shuffles all over the place and then cracks it in whatever direction she
By the way, Groba, on Sunday you ruined my easiest double of the year. Cause your left fielder, I don't know why, veered over towards right center or towards left center, and I looked. I was like, "Is that for real? Is he leaving me the entire line?" And so I tried to rip it down the line, and you got your glove on it that held me to a single. Like, God damn it. That was the easiest double I ever had in my life.
No, in your defense.
Nobody ever, lets me have left field.
I was kind of trying to entice you a little bit, but I think I gave you too much.
No, your outfielder, maybe it was Mike playing left field, but your outfielder, veered towards left center. I was like, is he serious? He's not playing the line at all? Well, so I was trying to go down the line, and you got that glove on it. I was like, it stopped. It stopped what was going to be an RBI double. It held me to a single.
Speaking of those girls, man, they've been tearing it up with that little small ball lately, and I've been really frustrated. Those little dinker hits that go about 3 feet and stop. They're really hard to field, man, and they've been tearing me up. I'm all bruised up and scraped up because of those damn things lately.
Well, the thing is, you gotta, and we've been talking about it as a team. You got to start challenging the back catcher to step up and make the play.
I tell you what, man, yeah, you can't put your worst player back there, you know?
No, you got to get somebody who can at least throw a ball to first base, you know? So, because you're right. If you're a third baseman or a shortstop, if the ball's hit in front of the pitcher, that's impossible. You can't run in, pick it up, and throw them out. If they got any sort of speed, you're just wasting your time. So if the back catcher can be on the ball, then when that ball hits, they just run up, pick it up, and throw them out at first.
That's right. I think we got to get some, you know, when we're taking that infield, we're always hitting it to our infielders, our outfielders, but we don't take it. I don't think we've ever taken the time to hit it to our catcher.
Well, it just basically
just getting the catcher involved in the batting practice or in the fielding practice.
Exactly. Whoever's hitting around in the field, just drop the ball right in front of home plate and make them throw it to first.
And you got to always be aware of that, you know. Especially, I think I had one last week. I went up and batted left-handed. We had a pretty good lead, and I think I had one of those. I think I hit it like 3, 4, 5 feet in front of the plate, and I got a little infield finger off.
Well, I'm gonna tell you a little story about our game on Sunday, then, Groba, because when you decided to go swing from the left side of the plate, you guys were up 12-4.
Right.
And I said to the team, and Paul Whitaker will echo this because he said the same thing. I said, when he's making us look like a bunch of dicks. He thinks this game is so far over that he can come up in the middle of a game and bat from the left side like it's a joke. And I was like, boys, we're not standing for this. And that's when the rally started, Groba.
Oh,
that's when the rally started. That's when we dug in. That's when everyone sort of bit down on their mouthpieces and said, "You're damn straight, Paul Groba ain't making monkeys out of us." That was it. So I'll tell you, your face was up on our dugout wall. He decided to come up and play Pete Rose against us. That's it. That's it. We're going after him. We're going after him.
Daryl McGee as well, and you know, I got to give Daryl some props. I got to give him some dues. He had a couple of good hits. He had one right by me. I think kind of like what Lee was talking about, what he tried to do.
Right.
Except he hit that line pretty solid, and he had a really good strike down out into the left field. I don't know if he pulled a double or a triple out of there.
I think it was a double. He was. I'll tell you this year I've challenged Daryl because normally he plays in the infield, but I remember last year in the second half of your season on the Dirtbags, watching him excel as an outfielder. I think he was playing rover.
Great outfielder.
And I was like, dude, man, you're my left fielder, and he has been lights out.
No, Daryl can play anywhere you put him, man.
Yeah,
sure.
no, he's been one of our most important pieces, and in terms of him at the plate,
I think last week, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He was lights out, and he had said actually at the start of the season that the thing that had spooked him so much last year was that he didn't have a very good year at the plate. He said that both you and him had struggled for most of the season at the plate.
Oh, we kind of wet the bed, actually, I think.
So I was like, man, that's just all in your head.
Right.
So yeah, Daryl's been great, man. He's been just a killer for us. Well, to answer your question there, we're playing Corey Baker's team. So tell us, what did you think about him? Because you guys had him in game 1.
Man, you know, dude, I was really disappointed that we lost at Corey Baker's team. And I thought for sure, I kind of penciled that in as a win, actually. You know, I was like, oh, there ain't no way we could lose to Corey Baker's team. And I was just like, oh, it was kind of a disappointing deal for me, man. I was just like, I was so surprised. They've actually got some pretty good hitters, man, and kind of surprised the hell out of me. You know, it was just, I thought we had them, man, and I thought we would play a little bit better defensively than we did, and no.
Well, again, I was umping that game, and it was back and forth. You guys had the lead. I think they kind of tied it up, but it was really the 7th inning that did you in again.
You know how we jump out to these 5-point, we have these 5-run first innings. We're really productive in the first 4 to 5 innings, and then I don't know what it is. I don't think we're letting off the gas. I think it's more of we're producing the runs, but our defense just kind of gives in a little bit, you know. So
sure.
I don't know.
Well, was there any takeaway from the game? I mean, what did you think of Corey's? What did you think Corey's team's strengths were, and what did you think their weaknesses are?
Tell me who they got on the batters again. They got.
Well, the Darren Smith, was Corey's
No,
first round
he's,
pick,
he's
and then
definitely he's a strong point right there.
and then he picked
And yeah,
um,
Darren's killing it, dude.
and
He's
then
hard. He's hard to play against.
no,
I had our outfielders move in a little bit against him, and he popped one over their heads, and I was just kind of like, man, because last year I think he had a down year as well, and he kind of came back just storming at it. He had a little bit of problem with I think he was just coming off the surgery, and I think he kind of lost a little bit of confidence last year. He just kind of had a down year. He wasn't his usual self. And
right.
we played together in Youngju, and I've seen what the guy can do. But he's healthy. He's healthy as hell now, and now he's giving it all he's got. So yeah, he kind of surprised me a little bit and kind of caught me sleeping a little.
And then they have
Over,
they got Ziggy, the guy from the U.S. military, but they had him playing a bit of shortstop against you guys. He was the biggest shortstop in the league, I think, for a while there.
Too much, really. But towards the end of the game, he started picking up a bit.
Yeah.
He could be one of those Rookie of the Year type players as well.
Well, I agree. I think what I like about Corey's team is he's got a lot of character players. He's got Dougie, he's got Bolger, he's got some really good lady players. He's got Rachel Berry's, I think, leading the league in singles.
Dougie is the connector, man. He brings once they get to Dougie's spot in the lineup, he cleans it up and he starts it again, man. And he played a crucial role in that victory against us.
No, he did, because I think he had a couple of 3 or 4 RBI kind of innings when he was at the plate, where he came up, because I remember him coming up a couple times when the bases were loaded.
Right.
And then he was able to, strike one out into right field there.
Can I say that he's kind of overlooked?
Quiet, yeah, absolutely quiet.
People overlook him, I think, and they don't really think, they don't really think he's going to do a lot of damage, but he's the one doing most of the damage, because of the fact that he's getting overlooked.
So yeah, I'm kind of digging the 4-game cycle right now, and I think as the season goes on, the teams will start tightening up defensively a little bit, and I think the games will get over a little quicker,
One can only hope. Let's hope that we're one of the teams that start tightening up at least.
Now, we took out the rover line this year, one of the rule changes, and we've just gone with 5 outfielders at the outfield line. Do you think that has contributed to the jump in the scores, or maybe not so much that, but let's say the jump in the hitting that we're seeing from some of the players that normally would have been decimated by the rover line there?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the elements that's driven up the scoring average a bit. I think for sure.
I agree with that also.
And I definitely think it's easier for the females to get hits. And I think it kind of moves people back a little bit, and there's more holes in the infield as a result.
I agree, but I think it extends to all the hitters that would normally be hitting those, drop over the infield singles that were getting eaten up, by the Rovers, and now they just simply can't make those plays.
For sure, yeah, and I think I benefit from that because I'm not a big power hitter. I drop some little balls over shortstop or second base from time to time, and definitely help me out.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess going forward, man, I mean, I assume you're having a great time this season. You're on a team with one of the rookie captains. How has it been playing with Mike, for Mike? You've seen so many different captains. You've been with so many different teams.
I had Robbie. I had Greg Devilers, and I had Hit Squad, the Pink Team, Scotty.
Yeah, the HIV
positive.
HIV positive, yeah.
So
yeah,
I had a few of the veteran captains, and so man, I don't know. Well, Greg was a new captain last year as well.
He was brand new.
It's not a new thing for me to have a rookie captain, but I tell you what, Mike Miller is bringing a lot of fun to the game.
Good.
And he's highly motivated, highly positive, and his wife Rain is just awesome. She's fun as hell too, and I love. I tell you what. I told this team, I was like, we've lost both of our games, but I haven't had as much fun playing for any other team, and I'm dead serious about that. I love my team. I love the energy they bring. And really, what surprised the hell out of me, Quentin freaking sent out an email or a message on Facebook, and he scouts out every team so well. Like he says, okay, these are the players we're up against, and then Lindsey Middleton fills in the gaps. And it's like I've never seen so much organization and so much fire and so much energy out of any two players as these people. Like the people on this team are fired up and ready to go every week.
Well, Bud, man, listen, we wish you all the luck in the world going forward.
Well, I appreciate it.
I want you guys to get that win on Sunday. I want you to beat the Amish folk singer.
What are they, like 1-1?
1-1. Just bury them. Make them 1-2.
Yeah,
Make them hurt.
2-0,
Make them hurt. Make them hurt. And I guess as a parting comment, I wanted to get your feedback on how you feeling about Dustin Waters as commissioner. If you could say something to the commissioner tonight, what would you say to the commissioner?
He's kicking ass.
He is kicking ass, isn't he?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he is. Let's hope that the All Balls get their first win this weekend too.
Oh, are they still winless?
They are. They've had a couple of tough games. They lost in game 1. I think it was 9-4, something like that, and then they lost a heartbreaker on Sunday to Brandon's team. I don't know if you caught any of that game. It was the last game of the day.
That game all the way. That was one of those come from behind wins as well.
Did you catch a bit of that game?
Yeah, I sat there and watched that whole game.
So you remember the one controversial call where one of their rookie guys hit a home run, but he didn't step on second. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like really flattened Dustin's team because they ended up losing by a run, but it kind of, I don't know, sort of stopped a bit of their momentum, I think, coming forward.
Dustin's team, the guy didn't step on second?
Yeah. Yeah, they were playing against Steckel's team, yeah.
You got to kind of let that shit slide. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but.
Well, they figured it out. We're going to touch all the bases now, so by week 3, we figure everyone should know in baseball, you got to at least touch the base when you're running around. So that's where we're going. But Paul, man, thank you so much for talking.
My pleasure.
And if you don't mind, we'd like to have you back on later in the season too.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Have a great Friday night.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
And then we ended the night with our interview with Woody Wilkerson, or should I say Murray's interview with Woody Wilkerson. At that point, the amount of beers in my system had taken over, and I decided to take a permanent nap for the night. Unfortunately, technical difficulties have made it impossible for me to put up the Woody Wilkerson interview tonight. I will, however, try to fix that in the very near future. And if I can, I'll try to put up a bonus interview at some point so that we can hear Murray and Woody in their talks and my occasional drunken ramblings. But sorry about that, Woody. If you're listening to this right now, your video is not up. Well, that pretty much wraps up our show for today. Murray, any last thoughts that you have here?
No, man, it was good to hear Mike, Paul, and Woody yak. Looking forward to the next cast when we get 3 more victims and do another round of interviews. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the doubleheader weekend. We've got, I can't say how excited I am and how big this event is going to be. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure that you get together with your team, plan out that barbecue, get those side dishes coming, pack an extra pair of socks. And if you want, there's a number of people that are going to be staying out there Saturday night. There's a bunch of love motels that are relatively close to the field. So if you want to, hit the beers, you can roll down the hill and grab a nap before you head in on Sunday morning. Yeah, so that's about it, Lee. Let's wrap it up, bud.
All right. Well, this has been Lee Babin.
And Murray Johnson.
That's it for DSL, the show.
The show.
Thanks for listening.